Good afternoon to everyone. And the Swadesh Conclave 2024, organized by the Balaji Foundation, India Legal and APN News Service. I'm very happy to attend this conclave. Mr. Rajiv Juneja, Chairman of the Mankind Pharma Company, Ushaji, Pradeep Rai ji, Rajeshwari ji, and my friend Mr. Jagdeep Singh Vick, who is a representative of India in Australia and a representative of Australia in India, both places. Just now, Mr. Rai described him as a potato and other senior advocates, business people, law students, ladies and gentlemen. I am really honored to be here today to attend this 5th Brand Bharat Conclave. In fact, the Honorable Minister Gadkari ji has to come and inaugurate this session because of some parliament, some work bill is going on. He is unable to come. I think shortly he is going to come and address all of you. My role in this conclave is very limited that way. I was invited to talk about the Indian judiciary. Basically, the program which was meant to showcase or to inform how the country has progressed after 75 years of independence, how the image of Brand Bharat was created, and the importance of recognizing the stakeholders who contributed a lot for this image and to honor them. So it's a great thing. I appreciate the motto, or I appreciate the intent of organizing this. But what I want to say is, the type of programs is necessary. At the same time, it is the responsibility of us to introspect or self-criticize ourselves about the achievements made and to correct ourselves to achieve more things. That is the reason why, so far as the Indian legal system or judiciary is concerned, with its limited knowledge or experience, I want to tell about my experiences and I want to make some suggestions. See, this as a judge and a lawyer for more than 45 years, I want to give some reflections about this judicial system. In our history, it is clear that the idea of justice was deeply embedded in our civilization. We have seen so many kings, rulers, and the governments. Doing justice and delivering justice to the common man is part of the administration. This is the duty of the ruler to provide a justice to the person who seeks and who is in trouble. Therefore, it is the part and ingrained in the ethos and culture of the people in this country. In the face of injustice, the people have always risen and spoken. This is we have seen in our freedom struggle and subsequently also. But during the independence time, we have seen a legal system which was framed by the rulers, colonial rulers at that point of time, which still we inherited and we are continuing to some extent. The legal system of that era was clearly designed, intended to suit the needs of the rulers at that point of time. And that system has a very limited purpose to serve the colonial people. We must remember the legal system is neither a tool nor a shield meant to be used by those who wield power. Since independence, successive governments have taken some efforts to streamline the judicial process and reduce the backlog of cases and delays. And they created special courts, tribunals, commercial courts, and tried to reduce the burden on the regular courts. And they made some laws also and created National Legal Service Authority to do free legal aid to the deserving people, which is unique in India, nowhere in the world, where lakhs of people in this country was benefited by that free legal aid. When a person who cannot afford fees or to go to the court, a legal aid was provided. It's a great achievement. And it created legal awareness in the country, particularly. And they conducted Lok Adalats and created national level, state level legal source authorities to serve the people. More than this, the Indian judiciary has a special place in the Constitution and the history of the constitutional law. The independent judiciary holds a special position in our country. The constitutional courts have interpreted the Constitution and paved way, created very progressive legislations which is helping the people of this country. To the interpretation of the Constitution, the judiciary has sustained and reinforced the faith of the people in the judiciary, but has also kept our Constitution truly organic and relevant to the needs of changing times. But doing justice is not an easy responsibility. Judges at all levels are under extreme pressure of excessive work, and the state of existing infrastructure is not that favorable. I salute unending dedication of the judges towards fulfilling their constitutional oath. Now it is the problems which we are facing, with more than 5 crores cases pending across different forums. The most common feature of the Indian judiciary, which gets discussed everywhere, in the delay in dispensation of justice and the increasing stress on the system. The people of independent modern India are still struggling to get speedy and inexpensive justice. When we are raising as economic power, how can we retain the trust of the investors about getting their disputes resolved effectively? Unfortunately, even organizations like law commissions do not have any comprehensive data or study about the problems facing by the judiciary. Thankfully, several NGOs, private organization has taken up the studies and doing commendable job and providing the necessary information and highlighting the long-standing issues to the notice of the public. I constantly emphasized during my tenure about the issues and the problems faced by the Indian judicial system. I repeatedly patronized the legal system being Indianized. That means increasing accessibility and molding the system to suit the needs of common man and creates faith in the judicial system. In other words, we need our system to be simpler, quicker, and affordable to all. We all know the reasons behind the increasing number of cases and escalation of delay in justice dispensation. Growing population, industrialization, high literacy rate, migration, increasing legal awareness, and legislations have led to the increase in number of disputes. However, the legislature and the executive did not support the judiciary judicial system in tackling and increasing and the burden created by the aforesaid problems. Just as it is the duty of the state to build roads, hospitals, and offices, it is the duty of the same state to provide number of courts and proper infrastructure to the judiciary also. Unfortunately, in the past, governments have treated the judicial system is an unproductive organ, whereas the bureaucracy thinks judiciary creates hurdles through constant scrutiny. Justice dispensation needs a radical revolution for the benefit of all stakeholders. I had proposed a multidimensional approach towards strengthening the judiciary. According to me, timely filling of the vacancies across all forums, increasing the number of judicial officers and judges. India has one of the world's lowest ratio of judges and population, with just 21 judges per million people. Another issue which needs to be highlighted is that our social and geographical dividend must find reflection in our judiciary as well. I have been a strong proponent of representation, as judges from distinct backgrounds bring in different practical realities into the decision making. There is agency which is looking into the people's expectation from the judicial system, and in turn the judiciary's expectation from the government to bridge the gap. It is pertinent to have independent funding and oversight of judicial infrastructure. I had proposed for the creation of National Judicial Infrastructure Authority with a special purpose vehicle and also state judicial infrastructure authorities in the lines of NALSA and SALSA. After all, the judiciary is best placed to understand its own needs. Prioritize modernization, digitization of court records, increasing IT access to all law enforcement agencies, be it courts, prisons, and other authorities or police stations. Revive the tribunals, filling up of the vacancies, infusing manpower and infrastructure, streamlining the functionings. Increasing focus on access to justice and legal literacy. Ensuring the orders of the court get implemented and the rule of law prevails. Judgments should be easily comprehensible, definite, and should available in the language of the litigant. These are some of the steps which I am suggesting through this forum. During my tenure, even my sincere efforts, much could not be done due to the reason beyond my control and COVID. I am happy that the positive and progressive steps have been taken by the Indian Supreme Court in interpreting the laws as well as integrating the technology through video conferencing, live streaming, and strengthening the e-court system. Lastly, I would like to emphasize upon the significance of separation of powers and the independence of federal structures within our democracy. Even in the hierarchy of judicial system, there is no concept of inferior courts. Beginning from the judicial officers to the upper echelons of the Supreme Court, everyone has a space and boundary to function within, and this sacred place to perform one's constitutional function must be protected for absolute dispensation of justice. Our primary focus should be the common man's welfare. After all, the process of seeking justice should not become a punishment. We need all stakeholders to contribute to mission justice. Sustaining the judiciary of the world's largest democracy is an unparalleled challenge. Our judicial system is one of the most resilient of all. During COVID times, the courts were one of the fastest to adapt the needs of the changing times. The increase of number of cases is also a testament to our commitment to the justice delivery system. The judges, the judicial officers, lawyers, and the staff always carry the responsibility with utmost pride and diligence. It is faith and trust of the people which forms the core of all democratic institutions. And lastly, I congratulate APN News Balaji Foundation for organizing this conclave. The media is one of the strongest voices in democracy, therefore bears important responsibility in bringing out the truth in this era of sensitization and fastest finger fast. Professional journalists and ethical media are the real strength of the judiciary in particular and democracy in general. I applaud your constant efforts in supporting the cause of justice. With these words, I thank everyone for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.